I have a migraine. It's actually pretty mild compared to a lot of the ones that I've gotten. I woke up, felt like hot garbage, hung out, then took a shower, then had some tea, then took another nap where I had some really weird dreams, and now I'm here, and so is Scout. She's right here. She likes to nap with me. I used to nap on my couch, and she would cuddle with me on the couch, but now she lays on my bed while I nap. Anyway, so the readathon has begun. It started today at midnight. I actually think I ended up staying up until like 11 after I got home from work, but then went to sleep, and now here we are. And I'll actually be working a lot more this week than I thought I was going to. So that's fun. Lots to look forward to. I have started a book. I am I would say a little bit more than halfway into Killers of the Flower Moon by David Grann. And I'm at the second part, and it's switch narrators, and I do like his voice. I think because it is nonfiction, it's nonfiction, but it's really not unemotional. But I think I do like the second narrator more than I might like the first one. But so far it is following the Osage murders. The Osage is was it the name of the tribe? Was it their name? I think it was the name of the tribe, and then it just became what they called the place that they were. So the Osage were indigenous Americans who were moved after the Trail of Tears to this place in Oklahoma that had a ton of oil on it. So the natives on this reservation all got a lot of money. It starts with the murder of, I remember Molly, I can't remember what her sister's name is, but it's her sister who gets murdered, and then her other sister, and then her mom, and then someone who was helping them, and it's like all trying to pinpoint who and why, and J. Edgar Hoover sending a Texas Ranger to Oklahoma to see if he can figure it out, because it was a group of indigenous people. The corrupt politicians in Oklahoma are fine taking like the payout from the perpetrators of this crime and other crimes because they're white people. So these people are so marginalized and treated so terribly that it really fucking sucks to read, but it is still really good. I don't think it's dry. It's not exactly like a podcast, or at least the podcast that I listen to. I like to hear people like having a conversation about things. But there was a wine and crime episode. I think it's number 84. It's called Reservation somethings. I did look it up, but I can't remember what it was, like the full title of it right now. But one of the wine and crime gals did talk about this. I don't know if I remember the outcome of this completely, but things are moving along. It's been happening. So I've been listening to this one. I got it on loan from the library, and then Morgan found a hack through someone else that you can listen to books at 3 times speed from Libby. So it's hard to explain. She explained it better than I did. I'm just gonna try to. Instead of hitting, like tapping on the button to speed it up, you just hold it and then drag it down, and then you can speed it up. And I feel like 3 times speed is really not that fast for this book. Sometimes for other books it's like it sounds so fast. The book isn't slow, but I think the narrators are kind of slow. So that's where I'm at right now. I don't know if I'm gonna have to go into work early, since our hours did get cut for the virus. Or not cut, but we're closing early, so that affects me pretty heavily. So in an effort to like make sure that I might go in early, I don't know, so I can work for 6 hours instead of just 5. I don't know. There's a lot of questions, I think, and a lot of people are super confused. So I have at least one other audiobook, which is the Mirror Grant one. But I'm gonna try my best to finish everything. I think I might be out of foundation. But finish everything and not try to do too much at once. But who knows? Anyway, I think this is a pretty good first update. Getting around and moving has kind of helped my headache, but it's because I didn't really have any other options. I have to get up, so I don't know. I have nothing else of substance to say. So, I'll see you guys later. Maybe. How much longer do I have in this book? I have 3 hours and 47 minutes left of this book. So I've read 5 hours of this book, which is pretty impressive for the first day at 1 o'clock, where I have slept most of the day. So that's pretty cool. Yeah. That's what I have right now. I think I'll check in later. If I start or finish something, then I'll check in. But for right now, I'm gonna do something about this. All right, it is 9:30, still Thursday. I'm home now, put the same shirt back on, it's my pajamas. Scout is also here. I fed her. Can you come up here? This chair is in here because I like to sit down when I straighten my hair. So I was sitting down in here straightening my hair this morning. Okay, so for the important update, book-wise, I have finished my first book of the readathon. My forehead is so weird to look at now. Like, it's very weird to see my own forehead. Finished a book, which is cool. I think I'm gonna end up giving it 4 stars. I'm sorry, but you keep bothering me. Ow. Anyway, I think I'm gonna end up giving it 4 stars. It did... I think it read really well. Apparently there was pictures that I missed. What are you looking at? In like maybe the ebook or the physical book, but still pretty happy that I did it in audio. I was able to listen to it super fast. So I got done with it in a day, a morning, a couple hours. You have a tangle? You tangling? Anyway, finished that one. It's split into 3 different parts. The beginning is learning about, I guess, more the history of the Osage, of the people of Osage, like how they got there, where Molly and her family came from, and then it kind of ends when you learn that, I guess, that everybody's dying. But then the next perspective, it's interesting because it almost reads like fiction. The I'm gonna get all red now, but it's fine. The parts they're split up, but I don't know if it's because it was from like first person accounts or if it is like slightly fictionalized where the author was like, let's talk about their feelings, how they were feeling when this happened, and then a man named White, whose name I don't remember, it was something like Tom, maybe it might have been Tom, was the FBI agent in charge of the cases, and his perspective goes through the investigation and then the trials, and then the last part is from someone who I don't recall about somewhat the aftermath, like because Molly and her husband something, he had a name but I can't remember, they had 3 kids, at least 2 I think that survived, but their kids went on to have like grandkids, and so it's her granddaughter talking to whoever the man is in the third perspective. It was good, but I think I'm gonna sit pretty well with my 4. I'm pretty happy with it, but I don't think it's a book that I would read again. I think it's important to learn about, and it's an awful thing to remember or know that happened, so that shit sucks, but you have to be aware and learn. So I'm happy that I read this. Was it like a podcast? No, it was almost more like I guess like a documentary, I would say. Yeah. So I have to be up for work at 8 tomorrow morning. So I'm probably going to try to go to bed really soon. That's my plan, at least. But so I probably won't do any reading today, but I feel like 1 book is good for today. I also have a couple books just from my library that are just in my holds that I'm going to try to read anyway. So if I could get other books while participating in this readathon, that's cool. I guess my priority will be the readathon, but also the hold stuff that I have, because those holds will disappear and then I'll be sad. My neck has been so sore. Sorry if that made you uncomfortable. Anyway, took off my makeup. I'm gonna tone my face. Anyway, I will probably check in the morning, or if not the morning, then tomorrow afternoon. Probably close to the same time that I started today. Yikes. Okay. Hello. I'm home from work. Here's baby. We're gonna open up some toys for her. I like to buy her seasonal toys. She's a kitten. She really likes to play, and I like to spoil her. And some treats. So first, I got this big, ginormous thing of treats for her, but she has this one, which is St. Patrick's Day themed. So let's... Is that you? Did you do that? It's raining outside and I'm making lunch, so it's loud. Meow, hold on. Are you starving? And then we have these little catnip toys, which are just fun. They smell very strongly of catnip. So let's see what she thinks. Here's this one, and we'll give it to Scout. And she'll see what she thinks. Baby, look at these toys. What do you think of this one? Now that I'm home from work, I'm gonna eat lunch, finish the audiobook that I'm currently working on, that doesn't count for the readathon, and then if I don't read Serpent and Dove, maybe I'll go for what's next in my little update. What else do I have to read? I've got a lot of things in my room. Maybe Heartwood Box. I might do Heartwood Box. We'll see how that one goes, but I'll check in after I eat my lunch. Alright, bye. Yeah? Hello. Can you tell that I'm very tired now? And I think the weather does not help. But here's Scout. She likes to lay on the other bed in my house. I have been reading Creole Kingpin instead of anything else that I talked about earlier. I would say that I'm like 40-ish chapters into it, and I think there might be like 60 something, but we're getting to the big, like, the action is kind of coming up to its peak point, and then it'll just go to the cliffhanger and then go into the second book. But I read this one, picked this one for the morally gray main character, and Magnolia is very, very gray as a character. She was a madam, so she's a former madam who has killed a man. I don't remember the story of that, but apparently she's killed a man. And Moses is also very morally gray. He is also from another trilogy where he's like the pseudo villain. So they're both very morally gray. And I'm glad that the book that I picked has worked out so well. But Scout is still sleeping. It is 3 o'clock, 3:30, and I'm exhausted. I'm very tired. I woke up pretty early. Got ready pretty early today. Scout loves this spot. Could you tell me why? No, she looks grumpy. She looks grumpy. I am gonna go try the new chocolate marshmallow Oreos because my mom says that she has some, so I'm gonna go visit and see what they have. I took all my makeup off and I looked like a dead person, so let's talk about this book. So I kind of talked about it before, and Moses is in the Legend, right? The Legend trilogy. I don't remember him. I've read the first two. Apparently he's the, like, villain of that one too. So they're both equally bad, or like morally gray. It was a cliffhanger ending. If you're gonna read this, I'll throw spoilers up. The whole reason that Mount lets him come back to New Orleans is so he can start his business there, but he has to tell Magnolia some secret, and he has not yet, and they've kind of rekindled. She trusts him again after leaving for 15 years, and the last, like, line of the story, or of the book, is, like, tell her that your meet cute wasn't supposed to happen, or something like that. So the next one comes out in, like, a month. I am pretty excited to read that one, see what the big secret is. I'm sure it's going to be something super boring. Or, like, he was supposed to kill you, or he was going to meet another lady, like, whatever. But that's that one. 2 down, 2 days in. friend. Okay, I'm slightly afraid that this would be unusable, but actually it looks like it's kind of bright, so I'm gonna take it. Anyway, I'm sitting in bed. It's bedtime. But I've been listening to Into the Drowning Deep today. Been listening to Into the Drowning Deep. I am 7 hours in. I have about 9.5 hours left. It's getting more into the action now. This is the mermaid mockumentary kind of exploration story. The premise of it is that like 7 years ago, this ship went out with the intention of filming a sci-fi story about mermaids, but the whole crew ended up dying. Like everybody ended up dying. Footage leaked showing these weird mermaid creatures. Some people think of it as a hoax, and then other people think that it's true. So they're going on a second expedition to try to find these mermaids. So I'm pretty close to the halfway point. One crew member has already died. They're at the Mariana's Trench, which I have no idea where that is. I'm actually gonna Google it right now. So anyway, they are researching to see if mermaids live here. It is scary. Not in, I mean, it's not horror yet, but in the sense that like there's a lot of people and not everybody knows what's happening. They have this shutter system that I don't completely understand. I don't know how it's supposed to work. Passengers are like not worried because they know the shutters work, but there's been, I guess, 7 tests of them now and only 2 have worked. So whatever backup plan, there's a hole in this. Whatever backup plan they're thinking of isn't going to work. So yeah, there's a lot of, the only thing that I can think of what? The only thing that I can think of is that it's giving me like Titanic vibes, in the sense that like the captain and the crew knew what was happening and they weren't telling the passengers, and it's all like it is a boat trip, and it's a lot of like nerves. They're out days away from, why must you do this? Or days away from other people. And they're just kind of trying to figure out what's happening. But it's like a toss-up for how it's going. Anyway, so that's where I am. I am listening to it on 3 times speed. I tried listening to it at 2 and I had to speed it up. It was just going like too slow for me now. I don't know if I'll be able to continually do that for like everything. You're so loud. Thank you, but I'll probably finish it tomorrow, which is, I'm feeling good about. I did finish another book today. What was it? Oh, Sherilyn Kenyon book. I'm been finishing a book every day. Not all of them are for the zodiacathon, but I'm feeling okay for how it's going. This was my longest book. Anyway, we're probably gonna go to bed because I have to go to work tomorrow. It'll be like yesterday, where I go to work in the morning and then I'm super exhausted, so I go to sleep. Although I did sleep today. I don't know if it's the weather, it's just been super gross and rainy. But working on this one, and then I have Beneath the Blade in the Heart. Maybe I do still have 3 books. There's 6. I keep thinking there's 5 challenges. There's 6 challenges. That's not yours. There's 6 challenges. So I have Serpent and Dove to read too. So there's 3.5 books to finish. That's it for today. I will see you tomorrow. Scout is very interested in cuddling right now. Even though you look scared. She was just sleeping. She was just sleeping. Anyway, hello. It is Sunday. Today's Sunday, the 22nd. And I'm getting nervous now about books. You know, I'm still working on Into the Drowning Deep. It's rough. Only because sometimes I can multitask. I can like scroll on Twitter, play a game, do stuff on my computer while still listening to the audiobook and retaining like a good amount of info. This one, it's not doing that for me. I was thinking about this or maybe this morning, and I didn't mention it. I think this would have benefited from a full cast. I think it would have made the perspectives go a little bit easier. Really, all that the narrator's doing to differentiate is like talk higher pitched for one of the girls, and otherwise it's really hard to figure out what's happening, especially now that we're getting more into the action and the perspectives are changing a lot. It's getting harder to focus because when they're talking, they feel like the same person, but they're different people all talking, and it's getting difficult for me. So that's probably why, not to kick all the blame off myself, but that's kind of how I'm feeling about it right now. That I think it would have been a really cool full cast, but it's just not. Anyway, that one I think I have 5 hours left of. It's raining again. Yeah, I'm exactly 4:59 for this one. What are you doing? Thank you. She's not interested. Anyway, I'll go plug in my battery. I know at some point I'm gonna have to start editing these. I'm trying not to make these super long clips so it doesn't end up being a giant nightmare, but I think editing as I go seems like a good idea. As far as tonight goes, I'm gonna wash my hair, eat dinner, try to finish this audiobook. Hello, I'm over here again because my water is here and my moisturizer is here. Hi. Sorry. I thought there was something on my face, but I guess not. It's 8 p.m. I just finished Into the Drowning Deep. So, the ending, or let's say like when the action did start happening, it was scary and they scared me, but the ending was kind of disappointing. I don't know if it was because, is it a series? Do they go back? I guess I'll pop spoilers if you want to read this book. Just mute the video and I'll be done talking about it in a second. But so I think that what the gist of it is that the sirens that they see on the ship are all male, and they kind of serve this ginormous female, and they wait until they have like a big enough crew that they will kill everyone and feed this mother mermaid. And so that's what happened to the original crew of the first ship, and that's why everybody disappeared. But Victoria falls out of the boat, sees this thing, gets back into the boat, and then they turn on all the lights on the boat and scare them back to the bottom of the trench, and it's just kind of over. I mean, everybody has like PTSD, but it's done, at least for this one. So are there more than one book? I know there's like a prequel or something like that, but is that it? Was that all? Was that just the ending? I don't know. That's kind of where I'm sitting for this one. What, Stinker? I would say Books that make me say, If I had to rank the 3 that I've read, this would probably go... What? At the bottom. So it would go Creole Kingpin, Killers of the Flower Moon, and then this one. So, I mean, it's not bad. I've read 3 books, and it was still a good book. I don't really have anything else to say. Let's look at what Scout is doing. I'm hesitant because I do have... Oh, and of course she moves. Hi, Stinky. Anyway, that's all that I have for right now, and I guess we'll see. Okay, so it's March 26th, the readathon is over, and I figured that I would wrap up the end of this vlog with a wrap-up. So, let's look at the challenges so I can tell you what I read. So, my Lilith was Virgo, and for that, the challenge was to read a book with mixed reviews, and I also paired this with a black cover. So I read Serpent and Dove by Shelby Morin. I think I'm gonna give this one like 3.5 or 4 stars. It was a good book for me. I did really enjoy it. I think what drops it off from being a great book, ending was really fast, and I think we could have used with more exposition of the magic. That's a baby hair. With a little bit more explanation of the magic, I think that would have helped my understanding of, at least towards the end, because Reed didn't really understand it, and so when it was from his perspective, it was like very jumbled to read. So that was that one. And then I got to buddy read with Brittany and Monica, and we read Killers of the Flower Moon by David Grann. And I think I'm going to give this, I think it's 3 or 4 stars. It was very good. A nonfiction that kind of read as fiction. I think it was a little bit, it wasn't bland in the way that you'd expect nonfiction to be. It wasn't exactly like a podcast, which was kind of what I was looking for, but it was still really interesting, and I did enjoy it a lot. Dark themes. So for this one, I ended up reading Rolling in the Deep by Mary Grant, which is the prequel to her mockumentary mermaid duology kind of thing. And I really enjoyed this one. I finished it last night. It was a novella that was like 3 hours long, so I think I finished it in about an hour. It was so good. I think this one will be like a high 4 stars. I read the first one before I read this one, and I think that helped. It made it so much scarier to know what was happening while everybody else had no idea what was going on. And I think that helped me in my reading. I know some people don't like spoilers. I kind of thrive on spoilers. And I don't know if... Well, you really go into it knowing, like, that the ship, like, everyone on the ship disappears. But going from, like, the first book back to this novella, I think was so much better than the first book, which I read for the next prompt, which was to read something that scares you. And it was a little scary at some points, but I feel like the combo, I said this earlier, the narrator wasn't my favorite. I think that with all the characters and the different perspectives that this book had, it really would have benefited from like a full cast, or at least more than just this one girl. I had to go back in the novella, but I had to go back more in the actual book because her voice was the same for everybody, so I started to tune it out, or I would like miss things and didn't realize that it was a different person. So it was kind of confusing to read. I think I'm going to do like 3 stars for this one. I'm not sure if I've already rated it, but probably not my favorite book. I definitely liked the novella a lot more. And then for the Morally Grey challenge, I read Creole Kingpin by Megan March, which is a romance book in her same world. You can see her legs attacking me. Owie! Your teeth are sharp. It's because I haven't given her any treats yet. She bites me. Give me, girl. No. No. Anyway, so this one follows Magnolia from the Mount trilogy and Moses from the Legend trilogy, and they're both pretty morally gray. I really enjoyed this one. I'm happy that I'm sitting on this cat toy. I'm very happy that it's out and that I got to read it. It did end on a cliffhanger, which is almost disappointing. I've been talking for a long time. I'm barely awake. Beep beep. And she's gonna eat a plastic stick. Why not? Who cares? Anyway, that's all that I have for right now. I think this is a pretty successful readathon. Maybe the first that I finished in a while. And while I didn't read 6 books, and it was not all of the books that I picked at the beginning, it was most of them, and I do feel pretty okay about not reading my NetGalley arcs, which is a problem that I will never address. I have way too many of those, but maybe I just can't read on my phone anymore. Okay, let me know how you did during the readathon. I know it was like a weird ass week for a lot of people. It was for me too. I'm surprised that I managed to finish so many. I think audiobooks really helped me out, especially because I did spend the week working and skipped 2 days. Yeah, that's all that I have. Scout's done. I guess I should be done. This is probably too long for what is already a long video, but that's it. I need to get my bangs trimmed. Any other updates will be on Twitter. Let me know how you did. I will see you guys later. Are you guys say bye?